What's going on, guys? I'm Andrew and you're watching Infovids. And of course, I want to ask you an important question. What's the deal with videos these days? Like seriously, why do people care so much? If you're a beginner in video editing but you've gone over the basic philosophy of video recording or tutorial making, you've probably heard the fact that images and videos can convey a lot of feelings or thoughts to the audience. A lot of ideas. But anyways, more on this in the further parts of the tutorial. Keep watching to know all about it. It's Infovids back here in another video, and today we'll be going over editing images with Filmora. You're probably like, Filmora? Yes, it's the one and only Wondershare Filmora. Get it for a reasonable price unless some special discounts or offers come along. But if you don't want to pay or if you don't have a credit card in hand, you can get it for a 30-day free trial. Enjoy your experience with Filmora. Now anyways, as I was saying, you can edit images with Filmora. Not necessarily edit like photoshopping an image. That's not what I mean. Things to do with masking, text, converting portrait to landscape, changing colors with HSL values, temperature, color balance. Yeah, that's what I mean. Let's head down to the application. First off, we're going to be messing around with the preferences. Well, not really messing around, but I'll teach you about them at first. The first option to do with editing images is in the editing tab, obviously. And that is photo duration. This will set the default frame duration that the image will be trimmed to or expanded to once it's dragged into the timeline. This can be useful if you want to create something on the go or if you just like it that way. Do know that this option doesn't affect your video, only images. But a nifty little trick for videos and pictures is trimming, and also the duration option in the context menu. If you have a set of images or a set of videos in your timeline and you want to make a slideshow or make everything flash 1 second before your very eyes with some nice transitions, then this option can help you. Select the specified set of images or videos after importing them all in the timeline. This can be useful for a set of videos too, because the photo duration option inside preferences doesn't affect them. Every time you place a mobile video inside your project, Filmora finds a way around this. So it asks you if you want to trim off the size of the video, and if you don't want to, it'll fit it in and doesn't trim off any of the parts in the image or video. But if you do, it'll end up like this. That is, if you want it to. But the same doesn't happen to pictures. That is, if you set it right. In the preferences, the next option to do with photos is the photo placement option. This option changes how an image looks once you drag it in the timeline of the project. Fit obviously doesn't trim off any parts and tries to fit it in. However, if you don't want it that way, then you can change it to crop to fit. And it'll crop off some sides of a non-fitting image and place it in like this. Pan and zoom gives off a nice showcase feel to the image. Once you set up this option, an image placed will slowly zoom in. That's awesome, right? Now we get to the real editing. Getting down to the creativity. There's a really neat effect called image masking, and this tool can help you in hiding, blending things in, or duplicating some parts of a video or image. You can find this in the utility category of the effects tab. Drag in your image or video to apply it. By the way, the first thing we are going to be doing is making something like this in Filmora. Pretty crazy, right? Now in Filmora it's not. I have a picture of the ocean, and it's recorded at a good angle for this. But this was converted out of a video, and to freeze it, we don't convert this to a PNG by frame, or use the freeze frame tool. That's way too tedious. We use the snapshot tool. This is useful for taking stills. Do know that this is color sensitive, which means that if the video is transparent, then the snapshot will be transparent as well. Anyways, you just have to take a snapshot of the video. Delete the video from the timeline and drag in the snapshot. Expand that to a size you think fit, and duplicate that over itself in another track. Drag in the image mask effect and double click on the duplicate and scroll down to the video effects section of the properties. I'll select this square right here. You probably might not see the image mask effect applied on the image. Think of it this way. If you had two pieces of colored paper and you cut the other one in half, and the two pieces of paper look different, but if you put them one on top of another, you'd see no difference. So to find a way around this in Filmora, make the lower track invisible. And now you see that the mask has affected the image after all. Guide your way in the mask effect so that only the ocean is visible. Not even a part of the sky should be visible at all. The X, Y, and Z, along with the width and height, can change how it's shaped. Now you can make the lower track visible again. Drag in some text from the Titles tab. I'll stick to the default title. Type in something like ocean or sea, something that brings out a nice vibe. Put that in between the two tracks. In my terms, a text sandwich. Position the text by dragging it down in the preview window. Make sure that people can still see the text, but also it's still behind the ocean. To emphasize the vibe, put in a text gradient. And to do that, double-click on the text inside the timeline and click Advanced. A dialog box will pop up on your screen. Look through the options on your left and scroll down until you see the text fill. There's a drop-down box right underneath the category label. If you click on that drop-down box there'll be three options. Text fill, aka solid color, gradient fill, and image fill. Click on gradient fill. The option of color underneath will be copied, but this only means one thing. The first option of the color is the start gradient, and the other one is the end gradient. Look at the options and preview once I change them. There you go, that's your first spark of creativity. But that's not all. Keep watching to know more about editing images. Oh yeah, and to learn more about masking, refer to this tutorial up here. If you've watched our tutorial on color correction, you might know what this is. But if you haven't, then go to the link in the description down below. Although you can get a little overview right now. Color correction is basically changing the colors of an image or a video. In Photoshop, you might know this as hue and saturation or color balance. To change color, simply double-click the target video in the timeline and the video editing panel will pop up. Choose the color panel and there are different parameters available for changing. Contrast. Control the difference in color and brightness in different parts of the video or image by adjusting this setting. Saturation. This setting represents the amount of gray in proportion to the hue. You can adjust it to make the colors of the entire video image look more saturated or vibrant. Tint. Tint refers to the light of a color. For example, when red is saturated with white, it'll create a tint of pink. 3D LUT. The 3D lookup tables in Filmora allows you to employ some Hollywood film-looking color sets into your video, especially from the 007 series, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and so on. To change color correction settings, just direct your mouse cursor to the indicator. Left-click it and move to the left or right along the slider. When releasing the mouse button, the respective value will be set. You can immediately see the result in the preview window. If you don't like the result, you can always click undo to discard the changes. It's also possible to cancel all the changes by clicking the reset button. You can also do some advanced color tuning with Filmora. Click the advanced color tuning icon in the toolbar to enter the advanced color tuning window, in which you can apply preset templates or adjust the color finely. It's recommended you start with presets for beginners, which will save you much more time. In the presets tab, there are different kinds of templates, including common, film, vignette, and 3D LUT. While in adjust tab, you can adjust the white balance, such as color temperature and color, light, and HSL. By the way, HSL is short for hue, saturation, and luminance. It's used to adjust individual color ranges in your video. You just need to tick in the option marked HSL, select the color that you need to adjust in the video, and drag the slider from left to right. Now you've finished correcting the video or image color, press play and go over the whole video in the previewing window. If you're completely happy with the result, hit export to export your video. Click the settings button to change settings if necessary. You can choose to save the new videos in different formats under the format tab. To know more about exporting, go to this tutorial up here. Color correction is awesome if you use it the right way. And that means you can change shirt colors, eye colors, pant colors, almost anything if you put your mind to it. Not only can you edit images, but you can create them as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel before we head on to the next step, making a YouTube thumbnail. Here we are back in the editor again, and now we are going to make a YouTube thumbnail. Something like this. Yes, we are going to be using Filmora. Guess what? To convert videos to a PNG, you can use snapshot. And we can use this to our advantage, seeing that we can export our thumbnail that way. The first step to making one is the background. I'll be using a bright teal radial gradient like this. If it isn't bright enough or if it's too bright, you can adjust the brightness in the color tab. Then put a watermark of your logo in the corner of that thumbnail so people won't steal it. To know more about the essentials of watermarks, check out this tutorial. What everybody needs is some kind of person in their thumbnail. I grabbed this image of Prepic and removed the background with Remove BG. Why Remove BG? Because it's a powerful web application that can remove a background efficiently, and it's free. Then I dragged the person in the preview window, then flipped him so he's going to be pointing to the text that we are going to insert right now. Go to the Titles tab and look for Default Title. Change the font style like Mark Pro Heavy and put anything you want there. I'm going to be putting in something like 3 cool green screen tips. Yeah, that's the look I'm going for. Now to produce the thumbnail, click on the snapshot button and right click on the snapshot in the media file, and then the Reveal in Explorer button. Now you've got your own YouTube thumbnail, and you didn't even need any high-end software to do this, just Filmora. I suppose this tutorial is coming to an end, but before it does, here's a little tip I want to share with you. Let your imagination run wild with these blend modes in the compositing section. Combine 2 images into one with opacity as well. Yep, that's it guys. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot, and if Infovids has gained a new subscriber. And for the video, a like and a comment that will increase our reputation in the YouTube world. Send us a link to your own edited image or your YouTube thumbnail. I'll see you in the next video. Or may I say videos, due to the fact that we upload great content to the channel. This is Andrew and you were watching Infovids. See you in the next tutorial.